What up, everybody? Here we are again to discuss something new. We are going to be reviewing Andor Season 2 on Disney Plus. This is a show. Obviously, it's in the Star Wars world. Yes, you would have to have obviously watched Andor Season 1. You would have to, I mean, honestly, you can't go into Star Wars new, be like, yeah, I'm gonna go into the Star Wars world watching this or this or this first. It really doesn't matter because everything is just all over in the timeline. Obviously, other than watching the main movies, these are like what happened in between most movies, basically. This is one of those shows, but this is one of the good shows next to The Mandalorian. Andor is fucking amazing. Played by my boy Diego Luna. Amazing actor. Hopefully I'm a cosplay him one day. But yeah, you would have to have seen obviously Andor season 1. If you have seen Rogue One, then you already know what's gonna happen. You know what the end game is. We all do. And I'll be talking about hella spoilers about everything Star Wars. So if you haven't seen anything Star Wars, get out of here now. And if you have just seen Andor, the first couple episodes of the second season, then you're in the right place. And yeah, they did drop 3 episodes, which I was not that much surprised, thinking like, oh yeah, it's a season premiere. Of course they'll drop 3, but when I checked the episode list, they're gonna be dropping three episodes every week. So this week they dropped 3 episodes. Next week another 3 episodes. Next week another 3 episodes, and then the week after that 1 episode, and that is the season finale. And I hope it is just as I didn't check the runtime. Hopefully it's just as long. Hopefully it's good. But this show, I'm hoping is gonna be good. It didn't get me that much excited. The first 3 episodes, they kind of did. Obviously, this is a season that just started, so they're gonna want to set everything up and show some new things, some new things that has happened, but nothing serious in terms of the rebellion war. There wasn't much that has gone on in them making the rebellion bigger. I don't know how big the rebellion already is at this point. This is supposed to, get real close to the beginning of Rogue One. And we all know that in Rogue One, at the end of the movie, it leads right into A New Hope. And at the point of A New Hope, the rebellion is like fully operational, as in they got so many ships, they got so many soldiers, they're a full-on rebellion. So even though we know the end game of this story, the point of Andor is to see how they get there. To see, like, we saw in season 1, Andor was his own person. It took a lot of convincing for him to be part of the rebellion, I guess. And now he's there. Now he's in there. He's part of the rebellion. he was trying to steal one of these new TIE fighters, I guess. I'm not sure, but it looked really cool. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this. I'm not sure if I've seen this TIE fighter before. Um, but it was clearly it's a prototype maybe or something that they're testing. But it was really good, and it was just so cool how it flies, honestly, because the way because Disney Disney does not play when it comes to their special effects on their shows, especially when it comes to Star Wars. When they do like dogfights, that shit just looks crazy. It's almost as good as the movies. It's like they really put their time and heart into how these Star Wars shows really be looking. And I don't know how much of they use of actual onset or if they're using the volume. The volume is a room that Disney owns that basically the walls could look like any scenery you want and it'll look super real. They use that for a lot of the shows that they done before. But um yeah, I mean Andor is part of the rebellion. He tries to steal the TIE fighter poorly. He does not know how to fly that thing because it's brand new. And then he it spends the first and second episode of Andor just being on this planet where he took the TIE fighter from, I think, and yeah, he never got off because he had trouble flying it. And then he just gets stuck on this part of the planet where there's these like Lord of the Ring, like not Lord of the Rings, Lord of the Flies kids just around, not really sure what they like. I guess they're just trying to survive, be out there, whatever. And then Andor becomes a prisoner of them because they think he's part of the Empire. He's Imperial, you know. And he he's not intimidated by these kids. He just wants to get out of there, honestly. The person that he was supposed to meet, I think, is possibly dead. I think he was supposed to meet. I don't know if that was the person in the beginning of the first episode where he was talking to this girl, and she has like, and it's like you were part of this of this team that this girl was, and now she's about to betray all of them because what they're doing is wrong. Like, the Empire is bad. So, but that's the thing. There's people who are part of the Empire who are not bad. They're just part of a bad organization, and you're just on the bad side of a war, and you end up becoming that collateral damage because it's sad because like she's like, yeah, like I feel bad that I have to turn on these guys even though I know what I'm doing is the right thing. And it really shows you that like the people who are joining the rebellion, they're sacrificing a lot. They're sacrificing so much, whether it's their lives, their family, friends, whatever. And and yeah, and then Andor is just, he spends a good amount of time on this stupid turf war with these rebellious kids, and it's just ridiculous. Like they're so like they don't have a clue who's in charge. They don't have a clue who to put in charge, and they constantly just fight with themselves. They were getting a little bit annoying, but I was just like, and Andor had no problem with killing some of them in order to escape when he had that chance. And they were always, and they mentioned a beast out there, which we finally saw. at the end of season 2. I mean, not season. At the end of episode 2, the beast got one of them. It looked like just some giant creature on 4 legs. Where it looked like it had tusk. I'm not sure, but um, yeah, almost like a bantha, I think is what it's called. A bantha, I think. It almost looked like one of those, but short, a little bit shorter and less hairy. Almost no hair, but yeah, that was something that happened. It wasted a lot of time. Like he was supposed to get the ship and get out of there, and clearly that backtracked it. Especially because we got Bricks on, I forgot what planet she's on, but she's trying to lay low on this planet, and then trouble finds her. Well, first of all, she gets nightmares. She clearly has some sort of PTSD from the Empire, from basically brainwashing her in the first episode, trying to extract, I guess, uh, thoughts out of her head as to like where Andor was before, I think, or just any secrets. And yeah, she's living a good life, honestly. Like there's nice people on this planet. You know, it seems very normal weather. Um, the local people seem very friendly until we get like a ship that comes in, and then we find out that they're doing like an inspection, like they're doing like they're checking everyone's visas basically to make sure that they're not illegals. I guess as in if you were born on that planet, I guess, or always on that planet. So Bricks has to deal with that. You know, you have these Imperial guys, a couple of stormtroopers even. They look very nice too, very nice and clean. I really enjoyed how the stormtroopers look. Um, but yeah, they come in here, they inspect them the first time, and they try to play it cool, try to act like normal local people, and it worked. They fooled them, I guess, until they ended up coming back a second time, and at this second time they come, I met the main dude. I don't know, fucking lieutenant, I think, maybe. The first time he came around, he was super creepy to Bricks. Like he obviously tried to get with her. She told him she's married, whatever. So then the second time he comes around, Brooks is kind of alone, and this dude tries to get real handsy with her, real creepy. Basically, he just he tried to rape her, and it was yeah, it was really creepy. Briggs was beating the shit out of him most of the time. I feel like, I mean, they had a little tussle going on, but she like she she hit the shit out of this motherfucker with a wrench or a hammer. It was, I don't know, but it was hard. She swung it at him. He's bleeding out of his fucking head, and then and then he still manages to go after her. And I'm like, how is he standing? And she hits him again. And I was thinking, like, yo, he should be dead at that point. No, he walks out in front, out of the house, and collapse. And I was just like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, it was amazing how he was still walking. Like, what? His buddy saw him, called in for backup, obviously. Just other stormtroopers that he called, they were checking out the other guys. There's another person that she was with. I forgot his name, but he's also part of her. He's also in the legal, along with another kid, Will. Was his name? cool little group that they got going on. But yeah, the Imperial calls the other guys, and then they try to get him, but then luckily we have Andor coming in with the TIE fighter because what was it? Um, Back on the other planet with the rebellious kids. At one point, they all, when the beast came in and they were all trying to whatever, Cassian was able to just slip away, obviously shoot, one of their guys as he was getting into the TIE fighter and just leave. And then they were all like, oh, like, what are we going to like, they all argue with each other, killed a couple of each other, and then they're all back to each other, like, all together again, back where they started, with no TIE fighter, no hostage. A couple of their guys are dead. And it's like wow, like that's how it is in certain parts of the galaxy, I guess. Um, but yeah, Andor comes in now. He knows how to fly this TIE fighter. He has a good handle on this now. I like how he was. I like how the handles are basically. Like one of them is like you kind of put your hands in. The other one has like this weird like lever thing to, I guess, increase speed. And it looks really cool on the inside. It's the cockpit is not how I guess most other TIE fighters are. It's always been like some sort of like regular handle with like buttons on top, I guess, basically, or just one in the middle. But seeing how that version of that TIE fighter was, and I'm normally not a fan of TIE fighters, other than Darth Vader's TIE fighter, but this one was actually looking pretty cool. So it'd be nice if I mean, he still has it, so it'd be nice if we see more of that, just flying around doing more cool shit, especially if Andor's flying it. But when Andor came in, he basically shot shot the main convoy that was going to Bricks. When the dude called for backup, he just blew that shit up. Blew a couple of the stormtroopers, other Imperial guards, whatever, and and at that same moment, the other dude, I forget his name, the bigger dude, he was trying to get away on a speeder. Stormtroopers were trying to shoot him down, and Andor and Cassian is just shooting them as quick as he could. He basically got them all and shot and yeah, and then after all that, the dude still ended up getting shot by one of those stormtroopers. Cassian saw his speeder smoking, pulled over, so he goes to him and he sees that he didn't make it, which is crazy because stormtroopers always miss. So surprisingly, one of them actually got somebody. Like the fuck. I mean, because when you know the end game of this, you either want to think that some of them might just live on somewhere far ends of the universe happily ever after, just trying to find some peace, or they're gonna end up dead because we know the end game. Other than Cassian Andor, but we know how his story ends also. But yeah, I mean, everyone else, they would just end up dead, except for Mon Mothra. Mon Mothra? That's her. I forgot how to pronounce her name. Her. And let's get into her story. Because Mon Mothra, she's I guess she's on her planet with her people. Last we saw her on season 1. She basically is trying to get the funding for the rebellion. We know who she is. She's obviously becomes one of the great leaders of the rebellion. So I think that obviously she becomes an important character in this whole Star Wars universe. But I guess right now she's in a position where she's obviously undercover. You know, the Senate is not fully destroyed like how it happens in episode 4, A New Hope. Yeah. And yeah, I guess if at that point she's undercover acting as a senator for the Empire, and she secretly gives money to the rebellion, funds them for their ships, blasters, whatever, and she's right now trying to just still live that secret life along with Luthor or Luthen or whatever. And yeah, Luthen has been undercover too. He wears like this fake wig or whatever, so he's in that disguise. While seeing Mon Mothra, and and she wants to know why he's there, and everyone's just very all cautious of each other. Basically they're having like this event because Mon Mothra's daughter is getting married to the son of some sort of crime boss, whatever, and they're only doing this because he is going to support her in funding for the rebellion. But there becomes a lot of like drama with it, like regular drama with her kid, saying that the other that her daughter thinks that the kid is a child or whatever, but then Mon Mothra feels like her daughter shouldn't have to go through this marriage because she's kind of like not forcing her, but it's kind of like one of those arranged marriages, and it's all very like, oh, you don't have to marry this guy or whatever, to the point where her daughter kind of acts kind of like an asshole. It's like, oh, I wish you were drunk or something, telling me not to marry somebody, when she's just trying to tell her something that her mother didn't tell her, and she's making it seem like, oh, she wish her mother told her what she's telling her daughter. But the whole there's a whole lot of like family um beef going on, I guess. Mon Mothra and her husband, I felt like haven't been getting along either. Like he feels like that she's hiding something, which she obviously is. She feels that I forgot. She has some issues with her husband. You know what's funny? I wasn't. I was paying attention, but not so much on her drama with her family, because not that it didn't seem uninteresting, but like I know, because I know at some point I feel like, because we see her in A New Hope without a family, so it's like either I wouldn't think that their family dies, but maybe they become so loyal to the Empire that they don't even support Mon Mothra, like they don't support her, and they're like, "Yo, what are you doing? You're betraying the Empire. You're funding a rebellion." Like, I feel like they would not stand behind her on that, because we will see her alone at one point. I feel like we're gonna see her with this family, with this wedding, with this living in this society at her planet, I guess, and then we're gonna see her lose all of that, and I think they're setting up a lot of conflict between her and her husband, her daughter, and there's someone else that she also like a friend of hers that's supporting her in funding for the rebellion, and there was something that he wanted to tell her, but he didn't, and I feel like he's hiding something too, something not good either. That's gonna tip the scales into knowing that there is a rebellion, because the Empire will find out. They just want to, they'll know there's a rebellion, and when that comes to light, I feel like everything else in Mon Mothma's perfect world will collapse. Luthor, I mean, we don't see him in A New Hope. You can only assume that he will die. Hopefully, a hero, whatever. This is the last season we're getting before Rogue One. So most of these characters that we don't see in Rogue One or A New Hope, we gotta assume that they're gonna meet their end. Hopefully, in a heroic, sacrificing, good way. So let's hope for that. And and yeah, and you can tell that she's having trouble with it. Like Mon Mothma's like, towards the end of the episode 3, she basically just got drunk and and let her worries go. She really just really got drunk and just said fuck it. But she is trying to figure out what's going on basically at this point. She's trying to figure out. I mean, her and Luthen too also were trying to, well, mostly Luthen, but he was trying to figure out where's Andor. Everyone knew that Andor was supposed to do this plan of stealing the TIE fighter. He was supposed to rendezvous back with Bricks, and he obviously did, just a little late. But Luthen, he knew about it too. He was worried that Andor has not responded, and yeah, but when he found out, or his assistant, when she found out that he did steal it, there was complications. She told him. I mean, he found out what was happening on the planet where Briggs was at, because Luthen's assistant told him, "Oh, she's in some complications right now, but don't go there because, you might blow your cover or whatever." But he didn't give a fuck. He went down there, did his business, and saved them, which he should have fucking done, because he would have been done. And Lucen he has a good amount of people on his team. He has this one girl who she in the first season, she was mostly on out there doing missions, but she also wears the disguise and goes out there and bees with the high class people. She has a relationship with another girl who's also doing the missions, and now that she's being undercover in disguise, the girl that she likes is still doing the missions. She's been asking about her. We know they have this relation. They had this whole relationship in season 1. Season 2, they were she was talking about the other girl, and we haven't really even seen her until when the guy who was acting sketchy, who wanted to tell Mon Mothma what he didn't tell her, he's been hiding too many secrets. And Luthen doesn't like that. Luthen is out here thinking, I need to check out what this guy is hiding. So he decides to have the girl that the other girl likes. I'm so blanking on names, but yeah, the one that was out there on the missions, the one that's in with the high class people in the sky. She sees the girl that she likes. We see her for the first time in disguise, being the shady guy's driver, and clearly she's gonna kidnap him for Luthen and find out some secrets that he is clearly hiding. And that shit just it kind of blows your mind, because you're like, oh look, she's there, but with the and the other girl sees her and she's like, walks away because she knows what's about to happen, which is that dude's about to be interrogated. And then we have, oh my god, and this is just like I know they're setting up a lot, but it all just felt like nonsense stuff that was going on, because we have in season 1 this is now showing the side of the Empire, the evil side, the people who want to take down the rebellion. It's we had this one dude who was started off on top, and then one mission went bad. He ended up at the bottom of the barrel, living with his mother, you know, bullshit. Bullshit worked for him, and it wasn't looking good for him. And then there was this woman. I think she was, I forget her position, but she was also close on catching Andor. And I remember at the end of season 1 when I forgot what was the name of the planet they were trying to save, but there was a whole battle that went on there. She was caught in the mix. She was saved by this by this dude who lives. Yeah, I say the dude who lives with his mother because that's how it was. He did not love it. He hated it. He hated his job. He ended up moving a little higher up. They were like, "Oh, we're gonna push you higher up," and they did. That's how it ended for him in season 1. And the girl, I'm trying to remember her. She was very serious. She's very down on doing her job, and she's at to the point where she is now even in a room with the higher ups, with the dude. Oh my god, I'm blanking on his name too. But he is the dude that's in Rogue One. He is the one we see in Rogue One. So it's interesting that they brought him in because I did not expect to see that character. Pretty big character, that's why. Big, evil dude in Rogue One. And yeah, it talked about how he, talked to General Tarkin directly, the Empire directly, the Emperor directly, I guess. And yeah, I guess that's he the thing is he brings all these guys in and her guys and girls, whatever, all these higher ups in this room to talk about what it seemed like to me. It talked about clothes, about some sort of fabric that these spiders make, and it just seemed useless to me. And the girl thought so too. And when she told him, yeah, like this is worthless, or I don't know, like this doesn't seem big picture stuff. But she does have a plan on I guess getting their trust or whatever. I don't know. But it seemed like she's just trying to find her place in there, trying to figure out what's really going on so she can really get down on business and try to track down Andor. Because it seems like she's still fixated on that situation, the whole battle that happened there. So I'm pretty sure she wants to get back to that, if anything. Other than that, she now lives with the guy who lives with his mother. They have like this whole relationship thing going on. It seems very, I don't know. Nothing that went on there other than what happened in the boardroom doesn't seem like anything that, big picture stuff. The other dude though, that, obviously ended up at the bottom and now he has this new job. Apparently he's been finding out that there's been like money secretly coming out of the Empire, I guess, that, or ships, which is how the rebellion is getting money or ships, whatever. There's obviously, moles, I'm assuming, on both sides of this war. But yeah, I feel like he's gonna end up finding a way to get closer to Cassian Andor, or closer to the rebellion with the whole funding thing. The girl's gonna find a way to get closer to Andor or the rebellion with her tactics or the way she's in there. So these two being together might be a really bad way, might be a bad thing for the rebellion, and they might be even the reason the rebellion gets exposed. So, it's a lot of setting up to do. It's going to be interesting to see how the rest of this plays out. There is, next week is going to be another 3 episodes. So hopefully they don't give us that much filler and a lot more of what's really about to go down. I mean, if anything, it looked like the fillers were these first 3 episodes, because a lot is just like the dude brought his mother over to check out his girlfriend, and his mom being there just seemed very like I didn't like his mother. His girl defended him, which I like. She was like, you would not talk to him this way. He would now only see you, like twice a month or whatever. Which I don't know, like, which is weird, because I felt like at one point they said weekend, and I was like, do they have weeks in Star Wars? I don't know. I don't know if they have weeks in Star Wars, but it threw me off. But I'm loving this show. I'm hoping it gets better. I really do. I want to love it. I love season 1. I love the character. I mean, most times I was mostly interested in the stuff with Andor. I could hardly care less about the Imperial couple or actually Mon Mothma stuff is very interesting too, because the type of person she becomes. I want to see how, if everything would just crumble under her and she has to like probably fight her way out or something. I don't know, but it's gonna be that's gonna be a rough road for her. Briggs is now back with Andor. Where they're gonna go next, who knows? Some sort of safe spot that Luthen's assistant helped them with. Um, it's it's weird that it almost didn't feel that much like a Star Wars world to me, but like with the party going on, like they had like the robot playing the techno music, whatever. And I was like, I don't know if I've ever heard music like this in Star Wars before, because I feel like the only time I have, or they had people dancing like that, was maybe Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, when Obi-Wan and Anakin were in the club scene, and they probably had music there, but I don't know if they had dancing. When they had music, it's always like a live band playing weird instruments, but never like a robot playing techno music or whatever. Basically a DJ. Yeah, it threw me off. I was like, if you're gonna have music, like have a band. Make a Star Wars. Not that many aliens in here either. Like, where are the aliens? Like, show me aliens. But the dog fights, the action stuff, that what made it feel like Star Wars for me, which is surprisingly the stuff that Andor was in. So Andor holding it down. But hopefully the next 3 episodes, much more better, much more Star Warsy, and yeah, a lot more answers, because after this it's straight up Rogue One, and that's gonna be insane. Well, I hope you like this video, and I will see you next time. Until then,